Edmonton Oilers season opener, take two. All right, let's try this again. Hello and welcome to Pregame with Bordzy, brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giant. I'm your host, Aaron Bordato, and it's Saturday night in Edmonton, and the Stars are in Edmonton. First hockey night in Canada of the year. Connor McDavid versus Connor Bedard. As you can see, Connor versus Connor on the episode title of this one. Two phenoms. Two exceptional status players going head-to-head. The Edmonton Oilers fresh off an absolute ass-kicking at the hands of the Winnipeg Jets and the Chicago Blackhawks, who lost in overtime to those very same Winnipeg Jets last night. Somebody is walking out of Rogers Place with their first win of the season tonight, and I pray it is the Edmonton Oilers. Tonight, I am joined by our resident Derek Ryan aficionado, Matthew Wozniak, and of course, producer Brett behind the scenes. Hello, Brett. I like your hat today as well.
Thank you. It is backwards because I realize that it is the other Los Angeles team, and I'm representing the Dodgers.
Go Mets!
Dodgers won yesterday, right?
Enough. Yes, they did. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. And I'm off to LA for game 7. Not actually, but maybe.
That would actually be so sick. So the three of us are going to be here all night. We'll be live right here on the ON YouTube for Oilersnation After Dark right after the game. But hello, everybody. Let's check inside the YouTube chat. Austin, first comment of the day. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm coming at you from the Flawn. Wish all of Oilers Nation a happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for my Oilers Nation family, all of us beauties, and all the beauties in the chat. Cold beer and game day. You just said to me before this that you consider me your family. Yeah. I then thought about it and said, yeah, I do actually think I spend more time with you guys than anyone in my family. So that's true.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. What are you thankful for?
What am I thankful for? That's a good question. The fact that Oilers hockey is back and we have something to talk about and I don't have to make shit up during the offseason.
Brett, what are you thankful for these days?
I am thankful for my wonderful girlfriend who keeps me sane.
Thank you for a real answer.
Yeah,
wow.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Yes. And I'm also thankful for you guys. I'm obviously thankful for family as well, who I got time to spend with today. But you guys as well. As you said, we spend a lot of time together, so I better like you guys.
And a little bit fortunately, we're going to be here all day again tomorrow, Brett. We're going to watch football here all day.
Football!
We get a BOA and NFL football on the same
That's
day.
insane.
Are you shitting me, boys?
Good night,
We're
Jim
so
Kite.
back. As I said, for me, thankful, family, friends, good health, every one of you in the chat. The fact I still have 2 shows and have yet to be canceled. Also thankful for that.
That's good.
And my mother got a dog on Thursday.
Very
So I'm
cute.
very thankful for that. I've been cuddling the absolute shit out of that guy. How's everybody's weekend going, though, so far? You were at Greta last night?
I was.
So was I.
Slamming back a couple. It was fun.
But I didn't
Played
see
some games.
I didn't see you there.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like you were there, but you weren't there. And I was like, oh, what's going on here?
Shout out to the Greta
Honestly,
staff.
love playing basketball.
They took care of me good. They took care of me good last night, as they always do. And it's Saturday night in Edmonton. Go check out Greta. Brett, today you spent all day with family, right?
I did. I watched a lot of college football with my dad.
What a sick college football day today
Oh,
was.
what a great day. And then we got to watch Eric Sabrowski pitch in the game 5 of the ALCS for the Cleveland Guardians. My dad, it was very emotional watching him because he has had Eric in our house before, and he sat there, and after Lane Thomas hit his grand slam, he looked at me and he said, that was pretty cool, but not as cool as seeing Eric pitch. So it was nice. And we got to see the Dodgers beat the Padres, F the Padres. So it was a great weekend so far overall, and it can only get wrapped up very nice with 2 Oil wins.
Let's grab 2 dubs and let's close this thing out. Drake May starting tomorrow for the Patriots as well. I'm excited. Let's go. Mr. Burns is excited. G's in the chat said, let's go. First game of the season, right? You saw my opener.
Yep.
Oilers season opener, take 2. We're just going to forget about what happened on Thursday night. JR Game 1 LFG Cup year. Remember, Super Chat is available, and I do accept all Cup year statements in the YouTube chat. But boys, Game 1 obviously did not go the way that we wanted. Stuart Skinner looked rough. The Oilers offense looked virtually non-existent. It was just a brutal start overall. And a matchup with the lowly Blackhawks might be just what the doctor ordered. This is, by definition, a get-right game, and then you've got another one of them tomorrow. But the one thing about the Blackhawks so far, while they might be winless so far this season, they're 0-1-1. They have been in games. And last night against the Winnipeg Jets, the Blackhawks held the Jets scoreless for 59 minutes of the hockey game before Mark Scheifele tied it up. Then he scored the OT winner. Yes, he also scored against the Edmonton Oilers on Thursday. But tonight, plenty of pressure on the Oil. It's hockey night in Canada. The spotlight is going to be on this one big time. New defensive pairings, a backup goaltender starting tonight. But you can't take the Blackhawks lightly.
No, definitely not, especially coming off a loss last night. I think they're kind of hungry to get a win and kind of prove people wrong, because I think a lot of people have already written them off based on their lineup and how last season went. And just because you have Bedard doesn't mean you're going to do much, especially in the second season. Like, especially if you compare, you go back to when McDavid entered the league. Yeah, we had a terrible first season, but then the second season we made the playoffs. And now, if you compare the Oilers' history with McDavid and Bedard, it's like, well, are the Blackhawks going to make the playoffs this year? It seems like, a lot of people think they're not even going to be a wild card team, right? So I don't know if they've really taken many steps forward, but they've got some sneaky good players in there with Mikheyev, Hall, Teravainen, and Bedard.
They've added some boys.
Yeah, so they're trying to. Also, Patrick Maroon, former Oilers, in there, right?
Yeah. Andreas Athanasiou.
Yeah, that's another
former
one.
Edmonton Oiler in there, and of course, Taylor Hall comes back to Edmonton tonight.
Corey Perry, though, he's on both
actually,
sides.
Yeah, that's true. I said to you, Taylor Hall will always have a special place in my heart. He's my first overall love. You can't forget the feelings that guy gave you, the city, the excitement, all the hype. Remember they had hope, Brett? It was Hall, Omark, PRV, Svensson, and Everly. So they forgot the Svensson. But those guys were everything back in the day to us.
Yeah, Taylor Hall, he kind of has a reputation nowadays, depending on who you ask. But I remember where I was when Taylor Hall was drafted to the Oilers. I was pro Tyler. I didn't want I was pro Taylor. I didn't want Tyler. It was exciting times in 2010. I was like, the Oilers are going to win the cup in 4 years. We're going to be the next Blackhawks. We're going to, dynasty's coming back.
Still can.
Now we're here. We still haven't won the cup, but it could happen this year, right?
What are we, 15 years later from that point? Something like that? Time flies.
Isn't that crazy?
That is wild.
He's 15 years. He's entering his 15th season in the NHL. And you said you remember where you were when he was selected. Yeah. And then after that is Nugent Hopkins, was Yakupov as well. Like, we are over a decade and a half.
So Nuge is in year 13, correct?
14?
Or 14, sorry.
Yeah.
Entering his 14th
and he's 1
season.
point away from 700.
There you go. Yeah, hey, that's a good one as well. Well, one question I want to ask and pose this to the chat as well is, we've had enough time to sleep on it. We have had enough time to think about it. Is anybody out there genuinely worried and concerned after that game 1 performance? You're a little bit here and there, but I'm not going to overreact after one game. I understand that they looked bad. I've just personally seen this movie way too many times. And as I mentioned, there's new line combos, there's new defensive pairings. They're going to take time to mesh. They look flat, but as Ty said on After Dark, sometimes a good ass kicking is exactly what the doctor ordered. McDavid himself said this is a great opportunity for the leaders in the room to step up. I think we're going to see a highly, highly, highly motivated Oilers team. And Brett, I think the stars are going to show up tonight, the ones on the Blackhawks, but definitely the ones on the Oilers.
Yes, 100%. And this was something that I mentioned and we mentioned in the last game as well, or yesterday's pre-gaming. Wednesday's pre-gaming was that I wanted to see a team that was fresh off coming out of the Stanley Cup final, being the team that everybody hates. You saw that clip that came out before the season. All the Western Conference players who sat there and said, who's your biggest rival? They said Edmonton. Go out there and go and show it. Go and show that you are the most hated team and why you are the most hated team. You stunk it up in game 1 and you have an easy target in game 2. Go out there and take advantage of it.
You got to win the games that you're supposed to win. This is definitely one of those, and tomorrow would be as well. Rusty, the answer to my question, no. Just straight up no. That's why I love you, Rusty. Mr. Cates, Daryl himself, I would assume that is. Look at that photo. Oh, my God. Not worried, just disappointed. Percy, not Jackson. It was a sad home opener, but I'm not worried. We will be just fine, ladies and gentlemen. But tonight, there will be no Stuart Skinner in the crease. As I mentioned, Calvin Pickard is going to get his first start of the season. It's a back-to-back this weekend. You knew he was going to get one of these games. Wanye on After Dark on Wednesday said, keep Skinner in for both. We knew that wasn't going to happen. I thought Picks would get this one, and you'd allow Skinner, the hometown boy, play in front of the hometown crowd for the BOA tomorrow night. But I like the idea of giving both of your guys a game right off the hop. let Pickard get in there and get his feet wet. What do we expect from one Calvin Pickard tonight was because he's shown up time after time. Last season, he was consistent as all hell. And while, yes, a lot of his matchups are cherry-picked, they're against some of the lesser competition in the NHL, I don't care. That's exactly what a backup goaltender should do. Those are the games he should be in. And frankly, last season, he won a lot of those games.
Yeah, I think we're expecting some reliable goaltending from Calvin Pickard. I think he's going to let in maybe 1 or 2 goals that maybe he should have. But then again, the defense in front of him is a little shaky. It's a work in progress still, right? So I'm expecting some decent goaltending from Calvin Pickard because when he's been called upon, especially in the regular season last year, he showed up. He gave us some good performances. He was there when we needed him. For sure, there was a game or two where he looked like a backup, and that's fine. That's going to happen. But it was awesome last year, especially against Vancouver. We needed him in that, and he showed up. And I think this is going to be one of the nights. I think he's a confident goaltender. And he knows his role, and he's going to, like I said, provide reliable goaltending.
That's exactly Percy. Picks gives you everything you need out of a backup, 100%. What he went 12-7-1 last season, and you mentioned he won games in the regular season was.
Yeah.
He also saved the Edmonton Oilers season in round 2 against the Vancouver Canucks. He was clutch as all hell in there, and I have all the confidence in the world, and so do the Oilers because they re-signed him for 2 years this season. So I think he's going to be around, all the confidence in the world. But as I mentioned, the star power, we've already waited too long to discuss it. It's Connor versus Connor tonight. McDavid versus Bedard, 2 of the most exciting players in the game. They're probably the 2 that are the most exciting to watch. You just never know what they're going to do. They can do things out on the ice and on skates that other human beings simply cannot do. Connor Bedard has only played the Edmonton Oilers once, and it was last season back in December. The Oilers won 4-1. But do you boys remember what Connor Bedard did in that game? It wasn't even 4 minutes into the hockey game, and he went absolute snipe show, top shelf on Stuart Skinner with the quickest release you've ever seen. Matthias Ekholm, the Viking of all people, was all over him, and he was able to bury that one. And as I mentioned, the Oilers came all the way back, 1-4-1. I'm expecting a highlight move or 2 tonight from Connor Bedard and Connor McDavid. Brett, it's going to be a sick matchup.
Yeah, if
I'm making that face.
If I'm not mistaken, though, in that game was Connor McDavid not injured too, so it was just the one Connor. Now, and obviously they ended up playing later on in the season, but
Bedard wasn't playing.
Oh yeah, that's right. So is this the first Connor versus Connor?
No, this is volume 2.
It's volume 2. Okay, I like the way you put that. Okay, wow. No, this is why it's 8 p.m. marquee matchup of the night tonight. This is what you pay admission for. Like, this has all generations excited for this game. This has the younger generation, our generation, the older generation sitting there and going, we have 2 studs this game, the current and the future, and this is what tonight is about.
I laughed here too at this rusty Connor and Connor versus Connor and Connor. It's like Jay and Dan with Edmonton and Calgary Calgary and Edmonton in Edmonton. I am so excited for this matchup. Bordzy's bankroll will be featuring a little bit of these guys. But as I mentioned, the whole hockey world is going to be watching Twitter. The Edmonton Oilers do not have a good performance tonight. I'm sure we'll be batshit insane once again, like it was after game 1 this year. And you got Pickard. You got new D pairings with Travis Dermott playing with one Darnell Nurse. We'll talk about that in our need to know information. But the Trolls will be out tonight. So, boys, please go out there and put your best foot forward and grab a dub this evening. Let's move along now to our Wilhauk Beef Jerky need to know information, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, which unfortunately we believe that Wilhauk is going to be doing a rebrand soon here. I think it's coming in November. They'll have a new name. It doesn't matter whatever name you throw on that beef jerky. I will eat it 24/7. You could nope, not going to say what I was about to say, that you could put on the label and I would still eat it. But only the finest tasting meat products earn that Wilhauk name, made from 100% pure Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, marinated, and smoked to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size. You can find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc, Spruce Grove, and West Edmonton Mall kiosk locations. For more information, go to WilhaukBeefJerky.com. So tonight, coming off that 6-0 spanking at the hands of the Winnipeg Jets, where, Brett, we also believe Money Puck said the Oilers had the deserve to win-o-meter in that game.
Yeah.
Maybe they got to check their algorithm in that one because you lost 6-0. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell you. Hey, hard work, hard 60 minutes, pucks in deep, stay out of the box, boys. That's all you got to do.
Well, like, depending on how you want to look at it, because for us, if you use your eye test, it didn't look like the Oilers were in that
At
game.
all.
Analytics isn't about the eye test, was. We
I know,
know
right?
this.
So
we know very much that this is not about the
I've got
eye
natural
test.
stat trick here, and the Edmonton Oilers had like more high danger chances created than the Winnipeg Jets. We had better expected goals for, but none of that mattered when it's 6-0 on the goals for.
We also won the face-off battle. That was one I hung my hat on.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Hey,
So
DR, you look really good.
Shut up.
all right, that's enough out of you.
Yeah,
The Oil, though,
that's
they went to the line blender into that game after roughly 40 minutes, and they will continue to blend on the defensive side as Travis Dermott will play with Darnell Nurse. That'll be Brett Kulak with Ty Emberson on the third pairing. These changes, I think, are a clear attempt to tighten things up defensively, and you're going to have to do that after you allow 6 goals in your home opener. Thoughts was on blending the lines that quick into the season. I get it. You were down 5-0. There wasn't much that was going to happen. What do you think about the move to bring Dermott up with Darnell Nurse?
I mean, like, I think Jason Greger said on Sports 1440, the defense is currently a work in progress, and they like to acquire a top 4 defenseman on the right side by the deadline or at the deadline. I'm kind of curious why Troy Stetcher's not getting maybe a look. I think he's a decent puck-moving defenseman who, when I watched preseason, he looked like he had his boots on him, right? So I think I like to see maybe next to Darnell Nurse and Travis Dermott right now. He's just getting a lot of love from the coaching staff, and we'll see if it pays off. But right now, you kind of maybe just experiment with what you have because these are 2 new guys to the organization, and you wanted to see who kind of clicks with who.
See what you got in all of them. Dermott, I thought, was okay in game 1. That first goal, that the pass was allowed right through the blue paint. Dermott was all over, who was it, Lowry, I believe it was. Didn't get the puck, didn't lift the stick, didn't really even take much of the body, didn't really do a whole lot on that one. But hey, we'll see what they got for us. Stuart Skinner, as I mentioned, he only made 8 saves in the opener. And then he was yanked after the 5th goal. I thought he maybe should have been yanked a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So it's Picks, baby. It's Calvin Pickards. He made 6 saves on 7 shots in that game on Wednesday. He had a 12-7-1 record last year. 245 goals against, 909 save percentage. Those are great numbers. Hopefully he continue to let it roll. And the Oilers last season swept the season series, and they did it the year before that as well. These are Bag Milk's numbers, outscoring the Hawks 27-14 over their last 6 games played. The Oilers have earned at least a point in 8 of their last 9 regular season matchups, going 7-1-1. So you like your odds of getting a point tonight. On the reverse side of things for the Chicago Blackhawks, they were the 2nd worst team in the NHL last season, 23-53-6, finishing dead last in the league in goals with 179, 29th in goals against with 290. That is a goals for, goals against difference of 100 goals. Going to be tough to win games when you got that. But the Hawks this offseason, they brought in some talent. They spent some money to try and support one young phenom, 19-year-old Connor Bedard. Tyler Bertuzzi, he signed for 4 years and $22 million. Former Blackhawk Teuvo Teravainen, he also signed a 3-year deal. They brought in Ilya Mikheyev, Patty Maroon, who we love, Craig Smith, I believe, from the Dallas Stars, 2-time Stanley Cup winner Alec Martinez, and TJ Brody. So this is a completely new look Hawks team. And as I mentioned, they were in that game yesterday against the Winnipeg Jets, and the Oilers were not in their game against the Winnipeg Jets. They have an 0-1-1 record so far. Peter Mrazek started the first game. He allowed 4 goals on 26 shots, and they lost to the Utah Hockey Club. And then Arvid Soderblom, he played last night. He turned aside 33 of 35, but tonight it is expected that'll be one Peter Mrazek. 907 save percentage last season, 304 goals against. And tonight, as I mentioned, the return of one Taylor Hall to Edmonton. I'm excited to watch that one as well. This Chicago Blackhawks team, like I said, you can't take them lightly, but I mentioned those names: Bertuzzi, Teravainen, Mikheyev, Maroon, Smith, Martinez, Brody. Those are real NHL talent with real talent.
Yeah, and last year you also can't really count out their depth. I mean, Ryan Donato, he scored the lone goal yesterday against Winnipeg. Jason Dickinson last year, he had 22 goals, 13 assists. He was, I think, the Blackhawks all-star at the all-star festivities because Bedard couldn't go. So, yeah, and then, of course, Taylor Hall. I think I was watching the first game of the season against Utah. He still has his boots. You know, he still can skate pretty fast. I know he was out for the majority of last year. He can still score, create chances. So I'm going to expect a little bit out of him. And also to speak on Taylor Hall here, I've got some notes because let me see here. Former Oiler Taylor Hall has 7 points, 2 goals, 5 assists, and 11 career games against the Oilers, who drafted him, including a 2 assist performance on his last trip to Rogers Place. When he's with the Bruins, and he was pretty decent with the Bruins as well. So definitely keep an eye on Taylor Hall. I would not be surprised if he gets a point in this game.
Revenge game, brother. Here you see the leaders on the Blackhawks for points right now. Connor Bedard, number 1 there with 2 apples. Everybody else has 1 goal or 1 assist. So we'll see what we get out of this new look Chicago Blackhawks squad. Let's move now to our Sherwood Ford Giants storyline this evening. It's brought to you by Sherwood Ford. And Sherwood Ford's doing something cool. The annual Sherwood Ford Food Drive is coming up fast from October 23rd to November 6th in support of the Strathcona Food Bank. Donations will be collected at Sherwood Ford, at Sherwood Power Sports Marine, and this food drive wouldn't be possible without the students at Lakeland Ridge Community School. Fun fact, my sister-in-law teaches at Lakeland Ridge Community School. Shout out Sherwood Park. Food donations are also being collected at the school by the students and will be given to families in need around the Strathcona County area through the food bank. Please help this cause and donate store-bought, unopened, non-perishable items. So go to Sherwood Ford, go to Power Sports Marine, drop off your non-perishables. You'll be doing everybody some good here as we get into the holiday season. My storyline this evening is simply, it's time to step up. It's time to put your money where your mouth is. Connor McDavid mentioned leaders got to be the ones to step up tonight. There is zero explanation for the Oilers to come out flat this evening. You had your scary in game 1. Your attention should be peaked. And this team, as one might say, they got to dig in, Brett. I hate saying it, but they got to dig in right now. And you can't let this snowball because, you had a great video that you put out earlier today on the Oilersnation YouTube. Go check it right after the show is over and watch it. And you were breaking down how the Oilers have missed being number 1 in the Pacific or getting home ice advantage in playoffs several years by just a couple points. And when you look back to some of these slow starts, especially last season, the difference could be a game like tonight against the Chicago Blackhawks, because may I remind you, they all count the same.
Yeah, like a lot of people were saying, like, you know, we lost to Winnipeg 6-0. Like, oh, typical Oilers. This happens every year. It's like, I can't remember the last time they won a home opener or whatever. Well, we won a home opener. It was just 2 years ago now, and I believe it was a 5-3 win against the Canucks, and the Oilers would finish that October 6-3-0 that year. And yeah, like for the most part, the Oilers have had strong Octobers. They would drop maybe a loss or 3 here and there. They usually have a positive record in October, but I've always found that usually in November or December, the Oilers tend to have these very lackluster, inconsistent performances which I find cost them maybe a Pacific Division title, ice in the playoffs for more than 1 round, because the Oilers tend to go on a tear in like February, March, and April. We've seen these win streaks over the last couple of years, but it's really in those like early months of the year where the Oilers just they drop the ball against a team like the Anaheim Ducks, for example, or even the Blackhawks, right? Or we get goalied. I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, we got goalied by Dostal at Anaheim, and we're like, what's going on here, right? So yeah, it's just we usually have good Octobers, but for whatever reason, we can't get up for those games in December or November when it's a little cold out.
Absolutely. Brett, you got a storyline for me tonight. What are you looking for from this Oilers squad in a bounce-back effort?
I want the top 6 to really gel tonight. I think there's been a lot of talk about the top 6, specifically that second line with Skinner and Arvidsson as well. So again, there's a perfect opportunity for those players to sit there and I hate to say it, but dig in, to go out there and have a actually productive game against it. Hey, these games count now. These games matter. They have points attached to them. So go out there, have a comfortable chemistry building type of game and build on it against Calgary.
Yeah, it'll be good to see. I love this from Mr. Burns. We're just 181 game heater away from solving our problems. You remember last year, we said we're just an 8 game heater away. Then we got an 8 game heater. Then we got another one. Then we got a 16 game heater. It was absolutely incredible last year. So we know that this team can get hot when they need to. Also, Waz Dukes is in. Says, oh my God, it's Waz Wozniak.
Dukes. Australia.
What time is it there, Dukes?
Like, what, 3
Please
a.m.?
let me know.
Love
Also,
you, Dukes.
Bob Stoffer said, Bordzy, you're married?
Oh,
No, I said my sister-in-law. Means my
That can-
brother is married.
that can still apply.
You're married to the game.
Jesus Christ.
There you go.
Well, today kept calling me Big Boards, too. Big Boards. I kind of liked it.
Quit getting
But
to
I
your
also didn't know if he was calling me fat or not, so I don't know.
There's a big deal.
I choose to. Ooh, let's go, Waz.
Stop it.
Gassing me up, brother. All right, Brett, let's take a peek at the Edmonton Oilers' projected lineup this evening. Let's throw it up here on the screen because, as we know, our top 6, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, and Zach Hyman. They're going to let it ride again. Jeff Skinner, Leon Draisaitl with Viktor Arvidsson. If you remember, game 1, Dry was switched with Nuge about the start of the third period. I'd say 40-ish minutes into the game. They're going to go back to Skinner, Dry, and Arvidsson. And you need to let this line cook. We talked so much over the offseason. Dry finally has real top 6 talents, top 6 wingers. Stick them on there. They'll also be, both of them are featured in Bordzy's bankroll. Third line, it's Brown Mark featuring Rico, Matthias Janmark, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown. Thought they were good in game 1, at least not bad as compared to everybody else. Your fourth line, Vasily Podkolzin with, say it,
Derek Ryan.
and Corey Perry on the right wing. We thought Podkolzin was a big ball of energy and a spark plug in game 1. Hopefully he can let that ride. You're the resident Derek Ryan guy. Break down DR's game in game 1.
I thought he looked
probably the
fine.
only one
He
who could.
was trying to create some chances in the offensive zone. He was getting involved. He was in the mix. That's all you can ask for him, right? I know Tyler said, I didn't even notice Derek Ryan. I'm like, were you even watching the game?
Really.
You were even there, buddy. Come on, get your eyes fixed. But, yeah, DR, this is a great game for him to get a goal, right? This is not a great defense. If there's going to be a game that Derek Ryan gets a goal tonight,
You think Derek Ryan's going to get an
I don't think he's going to score. He could.
We'll talk about that later
could.
at Bet365 Bordzy's bankroll, but they even offer that one?
I don't know. I don't know.
Can I take a look at the D pairings now as well? No, you can keep your handsome face up. I like taking a look at you. You look so cute. Matthias Ekholm with Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse with Travis Dermott, Brett Kulak with Ty Emerson. I'm so torn on this whole Emerson Dermott kind of switch here, but the thought being that Kulak and Emerson could become just a shutdown pairing is very intriguing to me. They both seem to be we know with Brett Kulak, he's as consistent as they come, very high hockey IQ. And those are the things I've been told about Ty Emerson. We just need to see him a little bit more in an Oilers jersey. But as I mentioned, I am not overreacting or panicking to game 1. But they looked terribly disjointed in that game. They couldn't string together positive plays if their life depended on it. It felt like it just wasn't going their way. On After Dark, Wanye said, I can't remember one specific positive play of note that he could bring up. And honestly, kind of have to agree with him. The Oil went 3-5-0 in preseason. They didn't look overly concerned in preseason. And Brett, as you mentioned, that was just the 9th game of preseason. It all starts tonight.
It does. It all does start tonight. You can't go. Yeah. And Jason Demers said it well on O&E this week. It was, you can't go 2-9-1 again. And obviously, the odds of going 2-9-1 is very low. But what he's saying is you can't have another slow start. You can't be playing from behind here. And this start of the season is the perfect opportunity to be able to get off to a hot start. You get Chicago on the second of a back-to-back. You get Calgary on the second of a back-to-back. Do you get Philly on the second of a back-to-back too? And again, younger team, inexperienced team, a team who fought hard last year but couldn't get it done near the end of the season. Same thing. Calgary's not going to be as great this year, and the same with, well, as great. They weren't very good last year either, but you know what I'm saying. And the same with Chicago as well. You need to take advantage of this 3-game stretch. You can't have a slow start to start the season, and you got to build off of it as well.
As much as I would love to watch Tyler Remchuk eat cat food again, when he joined us on After Dark after game 1. He said if they don't win a game in this first 4-game homestand, he will eat cat food. No one really made him say that, but he chose to, and I like sticking to his guns, but you can't do that, and this is way too soft of a schedule to start the year. You got to take advantage, and you have got to roll. I see this in here from Amanda. I want a Jeff Skinner night. Get that line rolling. Jay Skinner on After Hours, so that pretty much means a guaranteed loss. Maynard, come on, brother. Come on, brother. We're in game 2. We can't already be doing this stuff. Stealth Legends, though. The second line better not be split up for McDry. I had so much hype. Very excited to see what Jeff Skinner and Viktor Arvidsson were going to bring to this team. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought Jeff Skinner looked slow as shit. I thought he looked arguably as slow as Corey Perry, or if not, Jeff Skinner's 32 years old. And well, I don't think speed is the biggest part of his game. It was a little bit alarming. I need to see something from that line. And I mentioned also throw your takes in the chat because it still applies. Who do you think scores the first goal of the Edmonton Oilers season? Yeah. I'm still sticking with Viktor Arvidsson. I believe that he's going to have a big night tonight. But Draisaitl's got to find that chemistry with those two guys, because that is finally, like Leon Draisaitl last year was able to lead Warren Fogle to 20 goals on that second line, and you finally get a guy like Skinner, has a 40-goal campaign to his name. Viktor Arvidsson, career high of 34 goals. I need to see some of that offensive firepower tonight.
I'll give you some positives about
Jeff
Skinner. Is against Winnipeg, he led the Oilers in shots with 4. He had he won 2 faceoffs, so 100% rate in the faceoff so far with the Oilers. That's about it. So he can shoot the puck, and he was generating some rebounds. Connor McDavid, he had no shots. Okay, Zach Hyman, no shots. So
better than McDavid,
right, but it's gonna take some time for this line to get some chemistry.
Makes you think.
And
Makes you think.
Exactly.
Who should get the big contract?
But and hey, he's playing with Leon Draisaitl, who's been one of the best passers in the NHL. He's been said by players in the league, Draisaitl is the best passer in the league. So eventually they're going to start clicking, and it's going to be exciting. I know Sabres fans are saying well, he had a terrible second half of the season, and that's why he got bought out because he was making too much money and But you're also playing for the Buffalo Sabres. I don't even know what were they doing last. Were they even in the playoff hunt last year? Jesus, at least you're beating the Panthers now, so maybe. Anyways, So Jeff Skinner, he's going to start clicking, and my first goal of the season is going to come from Evan Bouchard. A nice boosh bomb. It's due.
Brett, are you changing your answer? Who's the first goal of the season?
Vasily Podkolzin. I think it's going to be a dirty, greasy goal.
Is he going to be like your Vinny Desharnais last year when you said every episode that Vinny was going to score?
So
Also, how's Vinny doing right now?
Good.
I'm kidding. I love Vin. I just like chirping Brett. That was a Brett thing.
I think this year Vasily Podkolzin. It's between two to be my new Vinny Desharnais. It's between Vasily Podkolzin and Adam Henrique.
Ooh, and you didn't say Henrique that time as well. Mr. Burns is in. Says Hyman, loyal to the oil. Love this one, Connor. Imagine Connor Brown scored the first goal of the season. I could see it, man.
He played well in game 1.
Yeah, I thought that whole trio was. Yeah. They're just incredibly consistent. And I said on last pre-gaming, I'm excited to see if they could pick up where they had left off from in the NHL playoffs. I think they will. They're just 3 smart veteran hockey players that don't make a ton of mistakes, a lot of hustle, a lot of that in their game. I also saw this from Kjell Iverson. This is a good one. Why the hell aren't they giving Troy Stecher a chance? My first reaction to that is, well, because it's game 2. So if he's not going to be in your starting lineup that you deemed to start game 1, you got to let these 6 guys at least give it a go for a bit. But if you've tuned in to Oilers Nation every day, Tyler has been ranting and raving that he believes Troy Stecher is the answer to Darnell Nurse's partner because he thinks Darnell will work best with a puck-moving player so Darnell can be simple Daryl, the guy that we love when he's not overthinking, trying to make plays, trying to get up and rush and doing all those things. I don't know. I'm torn with Troy Stecher. I love the guy. As I always say, HDMH, Brett, height doesn't measure heart. Shout out Marcus Stroman. Mike Stud as well. Let's go. They got some great songs there. But Stecher, remember last year, Brett, when he would get in the lineup, you did a lot of the games here with me. The one word that we had for Stecher was chaos.
It was
because
chaos.
he is all over the ice, up and down. He's going 110 all the time. And while I love that, and in theory that is a good thing, sometimes with your defensemen, you don't want them being Nail Yakupovs chased by a swarm of bees around the ice. Where do you come out on Stetch? Should he get in a game? So he will get in a game eventually here. I still don't know. Like, I get Tyler's theory. I just also think Darnell and Troy Stetcher might be the most chaotic thing you've ever seen on skates before.
Yeah, Darnell Nurse needs stability. And how long have we been saying that? And how much could Cody Ceci provide of stability when he hasn't been able to have a consistent, stable game for the last couple of years? And Troy Stetcher wouldn't do the same thing. And obviously, it's a controlled chaos. He's a veteran now in the NHL. And you listen to what Quad says in Vancouver, who watched him at the start of his career. He loves Troy Stetcher because of how hard he works. He's a good hockey player, and he came up playing important minutes in Vancouver to start his career. Now, as Jason Demers also said about Ty Emberson earlier this week, you're trying to win a cup. And there's only so much time and patience that you give to certain people. And you have the Dermott, you have Emberson as well, that you need to commit to for a little while. There's going to be a leash somewhere. It's a matter of finding how long that leash is and how much and where you put Troy Stetcher when you do put him in the lineup.
A lot of people in here, coaching staff doesn't like his consistency, I bet, because Troy's been very good every time we've seen him. Yeah, he has been. And I said he's got effort out the ass. He sure does there, Chell. Tyler is right about Stetcher. Love this from Robbie. I agree with Tyler for once. Then he followed up with Tyler Bouchard is getting 35.
Wow.
I love that optimism, but that might be the most scalding hot take I've ever heard in my life. But what if, brother? Well, so you're saying there is a chance. Mr. Burns, he does seem a bit like a bull in a china shop the few times I remember watching him play. Absolutely. And then Evander Kane's back, boys. Evander Kane's back. Also, Calvin Pickard. Haven't seen you in the chat so far this year. I know you're probably locking in the locker room right now, but Kaner, update me. How you doing from all of those? There was like 6 things wrong with your body, I believe, when you got your surgery. The list was long. Kaner, let us know. How are you feeling? Number one, talking about Bob Stauffer being a bull in a china shop. All right, we'll power past that one. Let's move now to our starting goaltender report, brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Hit the trails this winter and the waves next summer. As fellow hockey fans, the team at Sherwood Power Sports Marine are helping Oilers Nation fans, that's you people, gear up. They're home of an ATV for just $50 bi-weekly, or cruise the open water next summer for as low as $105 bi-weekly. Sherwood Power Sports and Marine are hockey fans helping hockey fans get ready for their next adventure with motorcycles, quads, e-bikes, and boats. Me and you got to go down to Sherwood Power Sports and Marine over the summer, and they just let you and me, for content, work, drive around every one of their toys, quads, side-by-sides. We were shooting videos.
Mm-hmm.
We were strapped up with helmets. We're safe. Of course we are. Those things rip, Wazina.
So it was one of the best parts of my summer. Definitely, without a doubt.
That's sad.
No, what do you mean? I had a good summer. It was exciting.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Brett, if you could get one item from Sherwood Power Sports Marine, what would you get?
I want an electric scooter.
Yeah, right. The scoots just look so fun.
Yeah,
You're a guy who rides all the city scooters all the time. You could use your own.
I could use my own. I could get to the train much easier and quicker. I could get to work much easier and quicker and cut down my
I
commute.
need a boat.
What?
I need a boat.
You're a fisherman, aren't you?
Yeah, I like fishing.
Yeah,
Go
you're a
fishing.
fisher.
Down the North Sask, good time.
I don't trust you with a boat.
Yeah,
I don't trust.
I don't trust Waz with much.
I barely trust him behind the wheel driving.
I also don't trust you.
Hey, come on.
I'm guy crash.
That's a low blow.
But goaltender, as I mentioned, Calvin Pickard, he gets the start tonight. 12-7-1 last year, 909 save percentage, which is technically better than Stuart Skinner's, but as I mentioned, cherry-picked matchups. He's incredibly capable. And the Blackhawks, let's not kid anything. While they have some good offensive talent on that squad, and it's a better squad than last year, it is nothing to write home about. There are no world-beating squad. I expect picks All right, let's play guess the stat line. What do you think Calvin Pickard's stat line will look like tonight? Brett, you're looking at me. You go first. You look like you're cooking.
So you want
I want
saves?
goals against.
Okay. Goals against will be a 9-10. Or goals against.
How many goals against and a save
That'd be
percentage?
something.
1-2-5.
That'd be
I don't know
awful.
how goals against works.
He actually had a goals against in the 9 on Wednesday. So
Oh, good. There you go. Oh, there you go. Swing and a miss. Okay. Save percentage. I'm going with the 9-10, and I think he has 31 saves.
nice was.
I'll
Save
go
percentage and how many goals against?
goals against. I'm gonna go with like a 2.09. Go in that ballpark.
Well, it would be how many goals he gets scored on.
2. I was
There it
going
is.
2. Yeah. He's gonna have like 35 saves.
This was a rough question to ask people who went to art school.
Yeah, it's
Funny.
true, actually. Yeah.
Didn't
Shout
get
out
a math?
Natives,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah,
Shout out
exactly.
Natives. We're all the baby
So,
owls in
yeah.
there. I'm going to say, I believe in him. 920.
Oh, that's
We're going to
good.
have a
I like that, yeah.
920, and he allows 2 goals against. It's always set. Save percentage above 9, and if you allow 2 goals, like Stuart Skinner did in Game 7, so lay off. The Oilers should win most hockey games if you allow 2 goals, but as we saw on Wednesday, you can't win if you don't score, so it might not even matter. Then on the other side, I saw somebody in the chat asked, it is now officially confirmed. Peter Mrazek. How did he say his name in that European video?
Yeah, isn't it like Petr Mrazek?
Petr Mrazek.
Petr Mrazek.
Peter Mrazek.
Yeah, how do you say it?
Ukko-Pekka-Luukkonen.
Oh,
I mean, typically I should say Peter Mrazek.
I also, my favorite one, I know kind of sidetracked, but my favorite one was Fabian Zetterlund.
I was like, oh, that's a curveball.
If you have no idea what we're talking about right now, the NHL released a video. I think it was like NHL Europe, and it was all these European stars pronouncing their name in real European fashion. And let's just say I do not say their names like that, and I butcher them constantly. Excuse me. Joking over here. Peter Mrazek, though, he gets the start. I said he allowed 4 goals in his opener. He has a career 3-6-0 record against the Oil with a 301 goals against average and an 895 save percentage. I believe this is his 11th year. And let's just call a spade here, boys. Mrazek is a very beatable goaltender. He, much like I said, of their lineup, nothing to write home about, nothing crazy. The Edmonton Oilers, with the offensive firepower and talent that we have on this squad, should be able to pick this man apart. One area I'd like to see that would be on the power play. The Oilers only had 1 power play opportunity in Game 1. Expect those numbers to be bumped up a little bit. Might even have a little power play point in Bordzy's bankroll later this evening. Let's move now to our Greta Bar-Yeg away team lineup, because Oilers Nation citizens, listen up. The season is here, and what better way to kick it off than with Oilers Nation and Greta Bar-Yeg. It's all going down Thursday, October 17th, presented by our friends, Bang, at Alberta Blue Cross. Doors open at 4 p.m., and you know the drill. Tickets are going fast, so hit up nationgear.ca before they are gone. We've got it all. Prizes, trivia, live shows. We'll be pre-gaming. We'll be post-gaming. And I got confirmation. I don't know if I've told you guys this yet. Brett, this might be news to you. I believe Marketing Maddie, shout out to her, she's an angel. She's the glue that keeps Oilers Nation together. Same with Kennedy. Has made a giant Plinko board that we will be dropping your things down or whatever, and it will fall on prizes, and you can then win those prizes. I think you can also buy in to get even more plays to go down it. And you know me, I just throw t-shirts like crazy. We got gift cards. We might even have some jersey giveaways. Not entirely sure. That is not legally binding, but we'll have some good stuff for sure. And of course, Greta, it's always lit. I was there last night. It was absolutely lit.
Yeah, it's always
It was absolutely
very
lit.
busy.
And while you're there at nationgear.ca, you know what else you can do? You can go check out the Nation Vacation, because we're going to Denver, Colorado, November 29th to December 3rd. The Oilers take on the Avalanche on Saturday. You get an incredibly chill Sunday, which I will probably spend glued to the televisions watching football like I do pretty much every single Sunday. And Monday night, primetime Monday Night Football, the Browns taking on the Broncos. Really hope Deshaun Watson is not starting in that game. Give me Jameis Winston, for the love of God. Give me Jameis Winston. He's the most entertaining guy in the NFL. He throws touchdowns. He throws picks.
Give me Dorian Thompson-Robinson, baby. Give me DTR.
DTR.
Let's
DTR.
go.
I
You
am a
know
fan
damn
of
well why.
acronyms. I am
Yeah.
a fan of
Yeah.
acronyms.
Peyton
UCLA.
Manning.
Oh, was.
Okay. And
Oh,
on that
was.
note,
I don't even want to talk football with Waz after fantasy football this year.
Buddy.
yeah,
Don't
you're
buddy me.
awful.
Don't
Yeah,
you buddy me.
you know
Don't
damn
you
well what
buddy
you've
me.
done.
You're a dub.
But
No, this guy has made awful trades this year, including one that you made with me, which I totally forgot that I sent to you. You were bad. You were bad.
triple ad read as well. Shout out to Odd Company for our Nation beer. We at Oilers Nation pumped to partner with Odd Company Brewing to bring you the all-new Nation beer. They're at the 2 Odd Company locations. They are in select liquor stores. As I've said, check Odd Company's Instagram. They will let you know where you can buy these bad boys. We got a whole flat the other night, Brett.
Oh.
The entire flat is gone already.
Oh, it was an issue before we were even done pre-gaming. This guy
Well,
had
it's in
2.
the name.
It is.
It's in the name.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
But he had 2 before we even finished. We walked
I
out
only had
there.
one, but
Asked Waz
Yeah.
if he wanted to join After Dark, and he goes, "No, I can't.
Yeah,
I'm feeling too loose."
The
Oh,
beers,
buddy,
the
yeah, I
beers
felt it
got
in the
to me,
morning.
he said.
oh God, here we
That was
go.
the Wednesday. We are so back.
We are
baby.
so back. Nation Beer, everyday lager. It's here. It's out. Go check them out. Go drink them. They are absolutely delicious. All right. Take a peek at the Blackhawks lineup this evening. Is there you see it on your screen. Top line, Nick Foligno, the veteran, the old man, the resident grandfather of this team, with Connor Bedard and Teuvo Teravainen, the former Blackhawk. Then it's Taylor Hall, baby, with Philip Khrushchev and Tyler Bertuzzi. Third line of Ilya Mikheyev, Jason Dickinson, who was sneaky productive last season. Joey Anderson is also on that line. And then 2 former Oilers, Patty Maroon, Andreas Athanasiou, arguably one of the worst trades that's happened in a while, and that is saying something in Oil Country, with Ryan Donato centering that 4th line. The D pairings, 2-time Stanley Cup champion and Stanley Cup overtime goal scoring guy. That was a weird way to say that.
There you
Alec
go.
Martinez with Seth Jones. Alec, it's a Vlasic pickle with TJ Brody. Wyatt, pronounce it for me, Brett.
Kaiser?
Soze?
Kaiser?
Nice.
Nice.
Connor Murphy as well. Somebody let me know how many Connors are going to be out on the ice this evening, because this team is defined by one Connor, and that is Connor Bedard. This team, they need him. And may I remind you, I said, he's still 19 years old. He had 61 points, 68 games played last season. He's already got one of the best shots in the NHL. He is an electric factory. Every time he's on the ice, he can get a shot off from anywhere. Man's trying Michigan's all over the place. He is just incredibly exciting to watch. You name it, he can do it all. The kid's a phenom. I'm just stoked to watch him out there on the ice, because I don't watch a lot of Blackhawks games, when being honest. Yes, I'll see all the highlights, but I just want to see him do his thing out there tonight, but probably not score. Please don't score.
Well, as Wanye put him, he's a diet Connor, right?
I hear Wanya giggle.
So, yes, he is. I'm very excited to watch him. He's always but the player I'm actually going to watch tonight is Alex Vlasic. I think he's a solid young defenseman. Last year with the Hawks, 76 games played, 2 goals, 14 assists. He was only a -4 on a pretty bad Blackhawks team, and he had a really nice outlet pass to Corey Perry last.
Nice there? What did he average?
21 minutes.
Okay,
And
there you go.
mention how big he is. Do you have
I
it
don't
right
know
there?
what's his height.
He's like 6'6", 6'7". He's
Brett's
a,
got a thing for the big boys.
oh, I do. I
You
do.
got a type. You have a type.
Listen, I was not very vertically inclined in my life.
Oh, we know, buddy.
So I see. Shut up. I was 5'10" on Tinder, and I still bagged my girlfriend. Baby, we love tall
boy.
people.
I got lifts in my shoes. The one thing though I could say about Connor Bedard, if I had to nitpick, and I'm going to, he is still a very young player. He is a very small in stature type player, and as we saw last year, he got absolutely lit up with his head down in the middle of the ice, which fractured his jaw. And I believe he missed, my math there, 21 games, if he did something around there. He's just like any other small player in the league. You're just going to have to learn. It comes with experience. You have to get your bell rung a couple times. Remember, he's not even Bedard's size. Remember how much Taylor Hall used to just get absolutely destroyed
His face
out
stepped on.
on the ice, and then sometimes in warm-up, he would also get absolutely destroyed. Shout out Corey Potter.
It was Corey Potter. Yeah, it was Corey
Wow.
Potter.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
for that
but Bedard, like especially during the
nitpick.
preseason. Yeah, no, for sure.
See
But
Neil Pionk just absolutely hip check him.
one. Nice.
But Bedard's been picking that physicality up, especially over the last the preseason too. I don't know if you saw him going after. Oh my God, I can't remember who it was. But now he has Tyler Bertuzzi on his line. He's starting to feel himself a little bit. I could see him starting a couple scuffles and being a little under the skin of the Oilers a little bit here tonight too.
Hey, I'd like to
Oh,
see
he's got
that.
Patty Maroon if he ever actually needs someone to step in.
Yeah, but he's not on the same line. He's on the
He'll
fourth
break the
line.
rules.
He'll hop over the bench.
Yeah. But like,
He would have done it for our Connor. He'll do it for that Connor
if
as
you want
well.
to compare, like McDavid, even in this second season, he picked up the physicality. I remember, I think it was game one.
But
against,
McDavid is a completely different
he's-
built
well,
person than Connor
definitely.
Bedard.
But like, if we're like second season comparing,
Yeah.
I remember he dropped one of the San Jose Sharks in game one of the playoffs. He was throwing the body a bit. So Bedard has
yeah, I
got.
remember that. Yeah.
It's crazy we can remember the most weirdest things.
The polls, brother,
Yeah.
the polls. So the other guy, mentioned him, Taylor Hall. He returns to Edmonton. As I said, my first overall love.
Mhm.
Halsey only played 10 games last season. He tore his ACL in his right knee. I thought he was going to be Bedard's running mate all year. I would have smashed every Taylor Hall over last season, but bang, you never think that an injury like that's going to happen. But he's currently
Yeah.
on the second line, I mentioned, with Philip Kurashev and Tyler Bertuzzi. Halsey's been all over the NHL since he left Edmonton, man. So where's he been? Chicago, New Jersey, Boston, Buffalo, Arizona. That's way too many teams. That's way too many
I
teams
think
for a player
yeah.
as good as he is. He struggled to find some consistency, I would say. 36 points in 61 games played in his last full-ish year, because we know Taylor Hall, he tends to be a Band-Aid at points, and it's the kind of style of play he has. What do you think, Brad, I'm going to ask you this. What does a successful season look like points-wise for Taylor Hall? If he's not going to be on that top line, but he's probably top power play, what's a good number for Taylor Hall? Let me know in the chat. Goals and points.
That's tough
It is,
because
right?
it's
I don't know if he's missed a boat,
but it's not a good team. You know, you're not like we have seen Oilers teams who have been bad, and your third highest goal scorer, point getter, has like 53 points. So I don't know. I could see. I would be happy with 25 goals, 20 assists, or something like that. 45 plus points, I think, on a team that's that bad. I know you're sitting there going, oh, Taylor Hall needs to be more productive than that. But again, not a very good team. Bedard and that top line and the top power play as well are going to take a lot of points from there. They're not going to score a lot of goals either. So I think 45 points would be pretty sustainable.
You and David.
Yeah,
on
there
the
we
same
go.
page, brother. Brandon. Holy. That's optimistic. I like it. Rusty's in here with 55. Vander Kane just chirping Taylor Hall just because he can. Tanner can't get physical right now. He's got to sit. This is the only way he can get out his animosity and his tension. I get it. That's why we're in the YouTube chat.
Can you imagine a line of Vander Kane and Taylor Hall together?
No defense would be played.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hey, they can probably score a couple, right?
All right, we got a couple minutes left here in the show, so you know what that means. It's time for Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Pre-Gaming with Bordzy. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets, whatever the sport, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. And as you see on the bottom of your screen, use the code, all capitals, Oily Bonus. So, all right, we went 0 for 3 on night number 1, and I am ashamed to admit what I am doing right now on my phone, Brett. Starts with shame, ends with reload. Bang. I had to
There
put
we
this back
go.
in because, hey, that was an anomaly, game 1. So we look here at our choices. Brett, I know you'll be on the YouTube poll getting this in. People can make a vote. Your first choice, number 53, to get over 2.5 shots on goal. He had 4 shots on goal in game 1. He's a natural shooter. He's a natural sniper. I believe that this second line will figure it out. And with Leon Draisaitl centering that line, Skinner, guy's never turned down a shot he didn't like. He's like an Evander Kane. They like to shoot the puck. I'm expecting that to continue. And then the next one, it got juicy on this one. Nuge, 1+ power play point. That is not a typo. Plus 180 I think Nuge is going to bury tonight. I know Bagged Milk thinks Nuge is going to bury tonight. I'm feeling low blocker on the power play, but I went safe with a power play points. The Oil, as I mentioned, they only had one power play in game one. Expect more tonight. And I'm going to ride with my guy until it happens because he could score the first goal this season. Arvidsson, anytime goal. He fired 2 shots on 4 attempts in just under 16 minutes of ice time in the last game. But here's some numbers for you. Shout out to Oilersnation.com.
Yeah.
They got all the stats. We got all the stats. The Oilers controlled 62% of the expected goals during his shifts at 5-on-5. Arvidsson generated almost 0.5 expected goals, ranking him second on the team in the metric was. I also know you have been looking at a couple things on Bet365 this evening. Hit me while I shame reload.
Nice. I went with Evan Bouchard, anytime goal scorer, currently plus 375. So I thought that was pretty solid.
Bouch, anytime? 375? Yeah,
That's
I like that.
not bad. And then, of course, I decided to put together a nasty parlay of. Do you guys want to hear it? It's plus 2,500.
Of course I want to hear.
Nuge plus 1 point.
2,500 was. Are you kidding me?
Nuge plus 1 point. Taylor Hall plus 1 point. Darnell Nurse over 1.5 block shots. Leon Draisaitl over 2.5 shots. Jeff Skinner over 2.5 shots. Zach Hyman, anytime goal scorer.
Brett, what do you got? Anything placing out there, or what do you like from Bordzy's bankroll? Kill time for me while I do this.
You know what? I'm a big proprietor in, again, I said this last time, I'm a big plus chaser. I am going with a Nuge power play point. I think this is, again, we mentioned it already with how important it is for them to get this game going, get the power play going, get the chemistry building in this game. I think if the power play is going, I think Nuge gets a power play point. And honestly, I might wrap all 3 of these in a nice little bow and just make them 3-1, baby. I'm completely behind.
That's what
that.
I just did.
Yeah, you
That's
did.
what I just did.
Yeah, you did.
I like that. I don't have the YouTube open in front of me. Can you tell me what the poll is at right now?
The poll right now in first place. Can I get all 3? I can't. Oh, I can get all 3. All right. In third place is number 53 to over 2.5 shots.
Second place.
Second place with 24% is RV anytime goal. And in first place with 67% of the vote, a Nuge power play point.
I like that. So the people are agreeing with me on that one. As I mentioned, I'm going to try and track Bordzy's bankroll all season long. So if you want to ride with me, you can blame me after the game. You could thank me after the game. As long as you're back here on the Oilers Nation YouTube, because we'll be going live later tonight for Oilers Nation After Dark. Same trio right here. I hear Wanye behind us right now, so maybe he will even come join us later tonight. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. We got some confirmation there. Final question, boys. You know what it is. Score prediction was and an anytime goal scorer. I bet you're going to say Boosh.
I'll change it up. I'll go 5-2 Oilers. Connor Brown getting a goal.
5-2 Oilers. Connor Brown. Brett, what do you like?
I like it. I think Edmonton runs Chicago out of town here. I think it's 6-1 Oil with a Vasily Podkolzin goal.
I'm going to say 5-2 for the Edmonton Oilers. Pix allows 2. Totally fine. Totally. That's exactly what you want into your backup goaltender. Obviously, I think Viktor Arvidsson is going to score, but if I had to pick an under-the-radar guy, Rico scores a greasy one, front of the net, nice and simple. They play such a consistent, simple type style of game, that third line, that I could see them banging and crashing and scoring a greasy goal because they all count the same, baby. All right, I love you all. Everybody, we're going to close it out here. Big shout out to all of our sponsors, which include Sherwood Ford, the Giants, the presenting sponsor of Pre-Gaming with Bordzy, Sherwood Power Sports Marine, Greta Bar Yeg, Odd Company. Shout out Oodle Noodle, as well as, of course, we just love Oodle Noodle if you're downtown. Get some of that if you're in Shipwright. They're all over the city. They're all over Alberta. Get some green onion cakes. As we know, we can't keep green onion cakes around Wanye because he will eat all of them while it's going on. I just said that. I just know he's back there behind me. Big shouts out to all of our sponsors. We'll see you right here after the game, breaking down everything. And good luck out there tonight, everybody. Have fun, stay safe, and go to Greta after the game as well. Check you soon.